Welcome to everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to this spring flower service. We were out and about yesterday. There were lambs bouncing about in the fields. There are flowers out. The leaves are coming out on the trees. Julie's done this wonderful spread of daffodils there, and there's lots of other flowers. So a real spring feeling. So I'll light the Christ candle, but just as you go into that sort of meditative space, just think about spring, think about renewal, think about freshness. Those are all the sorts of things we want in today's service and things we can take away with us. I am now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love and wisdom. I acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. As I open to the flow of divine wisdom and love, I let go of any thought of limitation, for pure substance and love are manifesting in my world according to divine law. Today's word is prosperity. And we were only talking about this a month or two ago, Patricia, I can't remember. Prosperity comes from the Latin word prospero, which means to hope. And certainly in my daily meditations every morning, I started changing my prosperity message internally to be one about me realizing hopes and dreams, which to me has got rather more to it than the normal context of more money in my pocket. I think that realization of hopes and dreams, of being what we want to be, achieving what we can be, and as it said in the prayer we just did, without limitation, I think that's, so for me it's a wonderful way of thinking of prosperity. And the affirmation is, I am open to divine ideas. So let's say that 3 times together, one as I, one as you, and one as we. I am open to divine ideas. You are open to divine ideas. We are open to divine ideas. Divine ideas are like seeds of hope planted in my heart. When they are properly nurtured and tended, they produce the manifestations in my life that represent abundance and prosperity to my own mind and soul. I might be surprised at some of the ideas that pop into my mind and might not see how they could possibly come about. Being open to divine ideas involves a large degree of surrender to the source of those ideas within me. My prosperity is not dependent on my limited mortal mind. I make the choice for prosperity, open my mind to divine ideas, and allow them to guide me to next steps and new possibilities. I love the words in there about surrender to source, allowing and guiding. I think that those are all wonderful aspects. And the reading is, Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you, and that you may be in good health, just as it is well with your soul. And that to me is the important point, just as well with your soul. If you're well in your soul, then you're well in your whole. And that to me is the importance of that message.
I chose this title, I think, because it's my reoccurring theme that we bring about a new heaven on earth because we are the activity, the expression of God. And so it's finding ways to support us in that, that we feel enabled in that, confident in that, courageous in that. The kingdom of God is within us. And this is where we find God, and this is where we bring out the kingdom of heaven from within us. And so the message is that God works through us. That God works through as us, that we are the hands and feet, as you'll always hear me say. To the extent that we invite that energy in, as we allow it to be our energy, as we enable ourselves to live that energy, to be that energy. And that can seem like a really daunting task. But for me, it takes us from being a victim of our fate that there's nothing I can do. I've just got to stand firm in faith, and one day I'm going to be rescued, or I'm going to go to heaven because I've worshipped and prayed and everything's been looked after, and that's all I need to do. So we're not victims of fate. We're not waiting for some God to rescue us, to intervene on our behalf. We are claiming that we are ourselves one with this power, and that together, and this is the message, we can be the change we seek. Heaven and earth in our Revealing Word book basically describes us as having their two states of mind, the heaven state of mind and the earth state of mind. Heaven is the ideal. The earth is the manifestation, what we see around us, what we're creating. The ideal is perfection as we experience it, our wholeness, our oneness, our abundance, our good health, the experience of love and peace, joy and fulfillment, all those wonderful things. That's the ideal state of mind that, to be honest, all of us want. We're all looking to have healthy bodies, abundant experiences, fulfilling relationships. Peace in our time is, even with all that's gone on this weekend with Syria and the bombing of the chemical places over there, and all this stuff that we continue to do, it's all in the name of peace. We're all looking for peace. But instead of course, going out there, we've got to remember that we find it first within. So the manifestation is how we take that energy and we use that energy and make it our own. And even though when we die, I really believe that it's a place of peace, it's a place that is an experience of love and healing and an ongoing, I do not believe that death is the end, the soul goes on. It isn't all about waiting until we get to heaven to experience that. And it's certainly not meaning that heaven is a separate place somewhere else. Heaven is an experience that we can know here and now, that we can call on. And I also believe that our earthly experience doesn't have to be a less than experience of heaven, if you like. That heaven is better than here. I think the reason we're here is to find a way to bring that energy here, to live it here, to be it here. And that's the cry, that's the call, that through us we bring about heaven on earth. And one of the real blessings that Unity was for me back in the early days when I came to Unity 15 years ago was, before Unity I used to see that I had to look for something that was outside of myself. In other words, I was trying to be something that I wasn't in this moment, that I was trying to be better. We have our lovely saying, don't we, Patricia? We are spiritual beings having human experiences. That I haven't got to strive to be a spiritual being. I am a spiritual being. This energy is here, it is now, and I can choose to focus on the stress and the conflict and the tension and all the stuff that we don't like, the limitations that we experience as human beings. Or I can strive to connect with the spiritual me. We call it in Unity the Christ presence, the Christ activity. And a deeper learning with all of that is that this merges. It's not like I am saying I'm a dreadful human being, I just want to be more spiritual. It's about saying that our spirituality accesses through our humanity. And it accesses in our own unique way. So we each have our own talents and gifts that we bring to share. Your theme is abundance, David. And that's really what you're striving to. Yeah, absolutely. And this is your theme, if you like, for this lifetime. And this is what you're working to experience and know and do in the best way you can.
About 30 years ago, about spirit guide.
That was your thing?
So, yeah.
You're living it as your truth, aren't you? You really are. Patricia writes beautiful poetry and musings, and the soul expression comes out that way.
Seems very well as well.
Well, indeed. And striving to express yourself in that way and to live yourself through that expression, that wonderful way you have with words and all you do with that. And Lauren's a beautiful singer, and striving to touch people with your voice, Lauren, and reaching out that way, and all that you've gone through of telling people that it's not about what's wrong, it's about who we are now, and finding our way to connect with that. And each one of us has our own way of doing that. Many of us through the prayer line, through serving through prayer. We've all got our own ways that we are doing now. We are already doing it. And it's not something we are striving for. It's to know that my spiritual self, my spiritual identity, is seeking to express itself, to be here now, and to do that in ways that we can be really effortlessly. It's here now. All that we seek, all that we desire to experience is the truth that's holding us, that we are grounded in that. And that instead of choosing to look at that, we look at all the things that are wrong. And I do that all the time, I have to say. So I teach this, I say this because I know I need to do it. So, how can I do this? How can I make this real for me? How can I contribute to creating a new heaven and a new earth, making that real now? So I wrote down some steps that I do, and I practice as much as I can, that I suggest might work for you. So it's taking time each day to sit in silent communion with God, with presence, with source, whatever we want to call the energy that is what we are part of, is here with us now, and listen. And then to claim and know that that energy that is coming through, that we feel in the silence, is our Christ energy, our divine energy. And the life that Jesus lived, the way he lived it, that energy that he knew, is also available for each one of us, available for me. I find that it's in giving that we receive. So I find that in serving another, I am served. In being the voice of prayer on the prayer line, I connect with that energy myself. So finding ways to serve with meaning, with the heart, is really important. So what do I need so that I can connect with that peace and that love and that joy that I am in every moment, and therefore be with you in a more loving and wise way? I love our prayer times that we do in unity, our 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock prayer times and meditation we have before the service, seeking to connect with the peace that we are. Really finding that within us so that I can live that peace. And a real key is to release what's in the way. What's in the way of stopping that? And everything seems to come up that stops us, so releasing all the time. And saying thank you. Thank you for this energy that I can know and claim and use as me. And thank you for allowing me to see it in each other. So as Eckhart Tolle writes in A New Earth, life is ready for a change in consciousness. Life is demanding it. And I get that. He writes, the possibility of a transformation in consciousness has been the central message of the great wisdom teachers of Buddha and Jesus and many others. They were rare flowers at that time. People were not ready to transform, and not everyone is ready now. But some are, and with each person who awakens, the momentum in consciousness grows. And so we are each person. That's who we are. That's why we're here. That's why we're part of unity. To be part of that shift, that momentum, that change in consciousness. One by one by one, like all these beautiful flowers that are laid out on the table here that Julie did. One by one by one. One alone doesn't mean a lot. Two has a bit more. But when you have a whole table display with all the beautiful flowers, that has impact. And that's what we do together. When we come together in unity, when we come together in our churches and our communities, we are the change, and we are the ones that make a new heaven on earth. And so, keeping our eyes closed, we take a few moments to just breathe that energy up. Breathe it up into our very beingness, our identity of who we are. The kingdom of heaven is within us, here and now. The Christ energy, and knowing that I and the Father are one, is ours to know and live now. And know that as we move into spring and the new season of growth and beauty, that we are that expression of beauty, of new ideas, of new experiences, of new ways of being. That we can be the hands and the feet, the activity of God.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy.